Hello, everybody. Good evening. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. This is the Carla Nicole Wisdom Channel. Make sure to subscribe today. Hello, I'm Carla Nicole. I'm a wisdom coach, and tonight I want to talk about the art of the sex kiss. A lot of times we really are not too artistic when it comes to the sex kiss, the ultimate sex kiss is to be able to not just kiss the person that you're with, their lips, but kiss ultimately their canvas. Their canvas meaning their body. Um, and so, when you are wanting to be in an intimate engagement with someone, I think a lot of times we get overly consumed with trying to um, do different techniques that maybe we see on TV, what we hear on the radio, what we see in the movies, and we're missing it. We're really missing something. And what I believe that we're truly missing is the art of the sex kiss. Um, there are variations of kissing, so I wanted to talk about that. But ultimately, when you're kissing during intimacy, there is a level to not only how you're kissing, but when you're kissing and also the style of kissing. So, the passionate part about even fellatio or oral sex, it has to be um, a version of being artistic with it, not just kissing basic, like you kiss your kids at night, or you kiss your grandchildren on the top of the forehead. Intimate sex kissing comes a point where you have to be unique and very, very generous when it comes to kissing. Now, here's the thing: when you're talking about kissing the canvas of your mate, it is very important that we don't just focus on the genitalia either. We need to make sure that we're focusing on the entire canvas of the body. So when you're talking about kissing someone that you are in a intimate engagement with, do so very uniquely. Now, I want to talk about the different variations. Now, you can do the peck. The peck is kind of basic, you're just pecking, and you're trying to explore the different sensations that seems to get an arousal from your mate. So what does that mean? That means doing pecks along the inner thighs, along the chest area, around the nipple area. It's very important, especially for men, to notice that there is definitely a lot of sensations on the male body that a lot of times is missed and often not even paid attention to. The back of the knee is a very, very huge erogenous zone that a lot of people miss. Now, why I'm telling you about the importance of erotic kissing and sex kissing is because it's so important that we pay attention to how you get aroused. So, now, when I talked about the pecs throughout the body actually builds a an awareness that if you are just in a zone in your intimacy with someone, it allows you to just kind of be intrigued, if you will. Also, kind of not. Actually, you just don't know. Be surprised. I'll put it that way. So when there's pecs going along the body, along the side of the buttocks, along through the sides of the calves, these are areas that are often missed because we're only merely focusing on the oral sex piece. Now, that is the ultimate sex kiss. There is an art to even sexual orgasms and things of that nature. But when you're talking about using the art of the sex kiss, it's very important that we pay attention to what seems to be arousing our mate that we're with. Here's the key: when you begin kissing along the body, You're kissing throughout the thighs, especially in the inner thighs. Pay attention to the moans, the groans, the swaying of the hips, and master paying attention very closely to how much they seem to. Well, with women, it's very easy. We can see the man's rise, but with women, it's a lot more based upon her reaction. So men, you have a little harder if you're not performing oral sex and able to see. You have it a little harder because it's like you just have to kind of go with her moans. With us, with ladies, we're able to see the way that to which you are being aroused because we can see it, of course. So what I'm saying is it's very important that we pay attention to the inner thighs. That is very, 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 very sensational. So when you're pecking along the body, pay attention to, like I said, how the response is. What is your mate doing? Is your mate finding themselves getting very just wanting you closer? Now, after that, now you can begin with your wet kissing. Wet kisses is a whole nother level. Now, the wet kissing is not pecking anymore. It is now being a little more intimate, as though you are French kissing the skin, French kissing the legs, the thighs, the hips, buttocks. You are now French kissing. Now, the art of the sex kiss is you're not just kissing like I said earlier, just pecking, but now since you're now actually advancing from just a basic peck or a basic um, exploration kiss, now you're really starting to get into how do I make this person really know that I'm in tune with them. I really want to see them to be in their best light. I really want to see how excited they're getting. And in order to do that, you just have to lean back and kind of see. Ooh. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to exploring the body, touching and feeling and things of that nature, it's always good to, take your hands, because see, when we take our hands and we glide along the body while we're actually kissing, it also sends a confusion in the mental state because you're just trying to relax, but yet you got a lot of sensories going off because you're now having the gliding of the hand and the caressing of the lips. Now, what's happening is your mate is getting extremely excited now. So, what do? The best thing to then do is, like I said, once you advance from the pecking to now the wet kissing, that is when you are now leading up to the art of the sex kiss. The ultimate sex kiss is oral sex. Oral sex is a very beautiful thing, and it ultimately needs to be you need to become very creative when it comes to oral sex. Not just do it based upon what you've seen or how it looks in adult films, or you have to pay attention to your mate's body. So it's very important, men, that you pay attention to the lady, and ladies, it's very important you pay attention to the men, because the men find themselves more intrigued by you just being in the area, period. So actually you already have a plus, okay, because you're even in the surrounding area, so you're already going to get an A plus right there. But once you begin entering him into your mouth, rather than just start gulking on it and slurping, try to be more um, make love to it. I guess is the best way to put it. Make love to it. And there's an art to it. There's an art because you no longer have to be rushed. Time shouldn't even be of the essence. You should just be in the moment of actually allow him, first of all, allowing you to even be in that space, because he is entrusting his his male parts to you at that point. So you have full control. And in that control, you are actually at the point where you can now take the lead and kind of throw him off a little bit because he doesn't know what you're coming to do. So, like I said, begin going up and down the penis. It's very important because all over the penis is various different sensations. Men love to feel your lips, they love to feel your tongue, but more importantly, they don't want to know exactly what you're going to do every time. They want an intrigue. So you got to make it kind of like, I don't know what she's going to do this time. I never know. It's always something new. But get lost in it. The art of the sex kiss is so awesome because when you just get lost and you find yourself more um, just exaggerated by just imploring a newfound joy in being able to show him how you feel based upon what you're doing. So the act of kissing on the area of the male part, man, listen, you're going to take him to the volcanic eruption he's so desiring, either through oral sex or, through actual sexual intercourse. But the greatest part about this is when you change up not only the the style of how you're kissing around the penis and licking and all of those things, it actually helps to your advantage to just take your time and learn him. Pay attention to what sensations really basically raise him up. What makes him rise? And then once you see that, you'll see, oh, I didn't realize that there's something that this man is really desiring and wanting. Same thing with gentlemen. Men, when you're going down on a woman, there is an art to it. As a woman, I could speak to this. When you are performing, um, sexual or oral sex on a woman, we are more intrigued by not just you just going and devouring, but more or less taking your time, paying attention, learning what it is that moves us. We like to feel your lips and tongue all over the place. But at the same time, once you find a pace that's working with your gyrations and your tongue, don't stop that. Continue to use that pace because, of course, especially when you're hearing the moaning and the groaning, continue with that pace because that pace is going to help her to climax. Of course, that is what every man wants to do is have your woman climax, right? So whenever you feel the gyration of the woman's hips swaying, her breathing is getting more rapid, begin to really speed up your tongue movement. And just to let you know, the clitoris is at the very top of the vagina. And so at the top of the vagina, it's a very small little, it's very small, and it's called the clitoris. And that is what arouses most women. You'll hear more about clitoral stimulation than any other place. However, that is not the only place that a woman can climax from. But we'll talk about the clitoris because a lot of people know about it. It's just hands down we know it. But if we don't know anything about the female genitalia, we know about the clitoris. That's often talked about. So with the clitoris, though, in order to stimulate the clitoris, pay close attention to how she moans and what it is she likes. Every woman is built differently. So every woman is going to have certain things she enjoys more than others. There's also the opening around the vagina that is terribly, I'm telling you what, very sensitive. And a lot of times, if you take your tongue and rotate it around the entry of the vagina, it is so decently amazing. I mean, when you really circle around there, and then you can tell by that if a woman is being moved or not. See, these are things that I try to impart with you guys to understand is that there's certain places vaginally that can increase and make it explosive for a woman to have a climax. Also, a woman's nipples can also bring her to climax. It's not hard to do, but it's really unheard of. You don't hear many people talk about nipple orgasms, but they're real. Trust me, I've had them. And so what that means is there is a place on the nipples of the woman. Same with the men too, actually. Men are also sensitive around the nipples, but I'm just going to talk about the women first because I am one. The nipples, you can actually begin to suckle on them, but if you suckle and then you pulsate your lips, around the nipple, just as though you would do the clitoris, and you continue to do that at a steady pace, and you notice that there is an arousal going on with her, you will find yourself to make her climax just as much as you do when you're actually doing oral sex on her. So nipple orgasms are just as significant as is the regular clitoral orgasms. So again, these are things that I'm just gifting you to know that there's an art to the sex kiss. So when you're wanting her to climax, see, the beautiful thing about the climax for the woman is once she's climaxed, it really readies her for you to enter inside of her, period. So that allows you to have the readiness that you need in order to enjoy it more. See, and I understand that most men, when you enter inside a woman, from what I'm understanding most of my clients to explain to me, is when you enter inside of a woman, you want her to be extremely wet, not to the point where it's so wet that it's just too much, but normally you like that wet consistency, and you'll get the best wetness and the best creaminess when you do perform oral sex first. Now, if you don't really do too much with the actual oral sex, but you do more fingering or fondling, you can still ready a woman by just taking your time, and then if you implement fingering and implementing oral sex at the same time while she's in her ecstasy, I'm telling you what, you're going to find yourself to actually increase the chances of her even coming more to a climax more than ever. So if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. This is live, so you can ask me whatever you want. But I am Carla Nicole. I'm a wisdom coach, and I'm here to provide some sexual education, but as well as helping you to improve your sex life. We cannot have just a basic sex life when we can be actually improving our love lives just by merely taking the time to understand what type of actual acts can we use to improve the ecstasy. Another great place that works really well to help you improve a climax is the toes. Not sure if you tried this or not, but sucking of the toes is a very big erogenous zone, and this also helps to improve climaxes for women and ejaculations for men. Also, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but I call it the rise and fall technique. The rise and fall technique is actually taking a man to his hardness, helping him to rise and get hard, and then actually allowing him to fall, basically go back to softness, and then helping him rise again. When you do this, this is a great technique to help a man to have multiple ejaculations and orgasms. In order to do that, though, you have to have a lot of patience. You have to have a lot of art with your sex kisses, which means that you have to do a lot of, tonguing around the tip area, also using different glides with your hands, and really taking your time to really get to know what really moves a man. Here's another thing about the art of the sex kiss. For men, there is I guess it's pretty common where, and I'm sure you've heard that the man has a prostate, and of course the prostate, and most people believe that the prostate is where the actual G spot is for a man to actually climax. So I want to talk about that really quick. Some men are not okay with you entering your finger or any type of anything anally to him. So, with that said, there is something you can do to still allow him to get the climax he can actually have by using and checking out the missing 3 inches. The missing 3 inches is 3 inches between the testicles and the anus. That is what they call the missing 3 inches there. That is a very good location to glide your finger across while you are performing oral sex, or even when you're doing a hand job or anything like that. You can actually improve the man's well, I always call them volcanic eruptions, by actually taking your finger across the um, missing 3 inches. And what happens is it can help the man to um, have a harder, more intensified volcanic eruption, just because of the fact that you are actually stimulating the prostate. And like I said, the stimulation comes from the anus. It's the missing 3 inches from the anus to the testicles. So there is a area right there through the crease, right between the buttocks and the testicles. You can see and actually feel a gliding that you can take right across that area, and you will find him to be extremely, extremely excited and moved. Now, there is what they call a prostate massage, that men that are open to having their prostate massaged um, can, of course, get stimulated from that as well, from their prostate being massaged. So that's another option or alternative that a man can do to actually find out, oh, I didn't know that that was something I could actually do, which actually helps the man to release and be moved more, of an intensified ejaculation. So again, I hope I helped someone today. Again, I wanted to express how important it is that there is an art to the sex kiss. Um, and of course, I cannot leave without talking about kissing of the actual lips. Um, there is an art to actually kissing as well. And even when you're kissing during intimacy, there has to be a way to which you're doing it where there is, you know, a expression, if you will, showing them that they are all you need at that time in space. So you can do that by intimately kissing. French kissing is a great way to improve having a very intimate engagement. And you can also kiss lip to lip. Take your lips on top of each lip of his or hers, and do that, and then add a little tongue, and really take the time to be expressive when it comes to your kissing during sex. Again, kissing is very intimate, but a lot of times, um, when you don't really spend the time to get to know your partner's um, excitement, if you will, with the kissing, then you're gonna miss it. So, like I said, take your time, do what I asked. Like I said, try the pecks along the skin, pecks along the nipples, the back of the knee, the toes, all of that. Then try wet kissing. That's important. Then after the wet kissing, then you can go into the fellatio, cunnilingus. You can do all of that, and then you'll find yourself like really building the intrigue, because, like I said, there's a lot of people that are not climaxing, or have never climaxed. So, in order to reach that toe curling orgasm, it takes time and patience, but it also takes uniqueness and an art to how you're doing things. Understanding that rhythmically, when you are in a rhythm, when you're doing oral sex, or even when you're doing just a hand job or fingering, there has to be a rhythm to it in order for you to help the climax to happen. So basically, take your time, learn your mate, pay attention to what your mate is needing and wanting and desiring. Talk to each other, tell each other what you like and what you don't like. Talk about when was it the best? When did you remember what was their favorite position? Have you ever asked and checked? It's important that we ask these things, right? I mean, if we want to have the best intimacy, we got to start asking. We got to start checking in. And like I said, make sure you subscribe to this channel. It's the Carla Nicole channel. And also, like I said, the art of sex is very important. I am a wisdom coach. If you need wisdom coaching, reach out to me at 8445 wisdom. I actually always provide a unique perspective with a twist of wisdom all the time. So make sure to look me up. I'm Carla Nicole. You can find me on Facebook. I have all kinds of different things that I have going on. So be sure to look me up. And anytime that I go live, once you subscribe, hit the bell so that you can get an alert when I go live again. Because I am going to continue to give these little nuggets so you know what it is you need when it comes to improving your sex life. Okay? So I'm out of here, guys. I'm Carla Nicole. I'm signing off. Best kept. Have a good night. Okay.